Okay, so we're going to be looking at how we're going to create strong words that you can remember. We're talking about creating student records and probably having email addresses that require that we have strong enough passwords that nobody can hack. What we're trying to do is to protect ourselves against hacking, protect our documents against unauthorized persons. Hacking can be done on anybody, people that you know. So we need to create passwords that we can remember that are actually strong enough. The keyword here is not just having strong enough passwords, is remembering them. I know a lot of people that has happened to. They have created password that they just couldn't remember. So there must be some cues in our passwords that could make us remember them. And not just that, because we have written them somewhere. You can write them somewhere and somebody can view it and say, okay, so this is this person's password, and use it, and voila, all your protection has not worked. Don't forget, one of the keywords is that we remember our strong password. So how can we do that? Number one, you can make use of what is called a passphrase. A passphrase is just like a simple sentence, which anyone will not actually tie to being a password. For instance, now, I lost my dad like 2016, and I can use I lost or my dad is late dot 2023, and I can actually juggle those words. Instead of putting the day or the date that my dad died at the end, it can be in between. It can be my 2023 dot dad is late. You can juggle it anyhow. What is important is that you know what your passphrase is and the particular numbers that are there, and you can decide to add maybe $1 or naira or whatever sign. Whatever it is that is important to you. It's not your wedding date. It's not the day that that your wife gave birth to your last born or any of your children's birth dates. No, none of those should actually feature in your password at all. Anybody can guess that, and anybody can guess anything else that is attached to you if they know that you are very, very particular about it. Like your daughter's graduation date, for instance. Now, if you put graduation date, someone can guess it's 2023 and know what you're talking about. Something that no one knows that you know and you can easily remember. Okay, now mine is I love watching videos. I love watching videos. I can juggle it into what it can be. I love video watching. I love watching videos. At the end of the day, if I make a mistake in remembering once and I go back again to different ways that I may have juggled this passphrase, I will remember it. Then I can add a number that I know I can easily remember. I have to think of that number and probably put it down somewhere in an encrypted form that nobody can have access to. Don't forget that the passphrase is something that you can remember. And it is something that you know that even if you forget, if by the time you juggle 1, 2, 3 words together, you remember the manner or the way in which you put the passphrase together. Another one too is that you use your local language. I can speak English, Yoruba, and Igbo language, and I can use all three in my password. I can decide to use them singly. The example I have here is Adugbowa. Adugbowa in Yoruba means our street. Sorry, in English means our street. Our street is Adugbowa in Yoruba. In Hausa is something else. In Igbo, it's another set of text entirely different from our street. It seems so simple. It can be Adugbowa, and you can now put slash, maybe a number of the street where, your a village house, our local house in the village. If, for instance, now, my local place is in Ekweru on my mother's side, and it is a southwest slash 221, which nobody knows about. I can now put Adugbowa underscore SW dot 221. That's a password that very many people can't guess. Adugbo wa. The Oyibo man that wants to hack you won't know what Adugbo wa. You wonder what is Adugbo wa for crying out loud. And it can be in Hausa language. It can be in what is it called? It can be in Igbo, any language. Technology is not language biased. So whatever it is that you input there, I mean, it stands. But don't forget, it must be something that you can remember. We're saying it must be strong, and you should be able to remember it. Lastly, your password must be unique. If you're handling student records, don't use any person's name that you know as your password. Don't. In fact, it's better you use people that you don't even know at all. If it is your late great grandma that you are fond of her name, that people around your colleagues are not aware of, and probably you decide to use her name as a passphrase. I remember Ade Shalewa or Omo Shalewa. Nobody is going to think I remember Omo Shalewa, and you now put the number of maybe when Buhari became president, for instance, 2015 or something, and you now put that there. I remember Ade Shalewa underscore 2015 as a password. Very few people can guess that. So don't forget, your passport must be what? Very strong. It must be two, something that you can remember, and it must be unique. So I wish you luck.